Right. There we go. And now we are streaming live. Go ahead and take care of the screen situation. And yeah, I just thought I'd come on here and share a couple thoughts and feelings. My God, as soon as I even pressed record, I felt a bunch of sweat drip down me. Holy shit, this is an intense topic, right? Yeah, intense. Talking about what is it like being a man? What makes a man today? What are some of the challenges we face as men? And I got to tell you, I am having a pretty intense day myself as I am attending WarriorCon 4, which is a massive men's event. Attending it virtually. Today is the first break we've had since it began around 11 o'clock this morning. So, and we're going for 3 more days, 12-hour days. And it is powerful and it is really, really fucking intense. And so shout out to anyone who's down with the WarriorCon, Garrett White, the Warrior's Way. What it is basically in a nutshell is it's gathering an elite group of men or men who want to rise above mediocrity, to really step into their power fully, to take ownership for their lives, to develop their connection with God, with Creator, and to step into their role as children of God and to bring the message and to live the message that we were put on this earth to live, to build organizations, to help people wake up and heal and transform themselves. And I don't think there's ever been a time in history when we need it more than right now. So what are some of the problems that men face today? Well, first and foremost, the majority of men today, it's pretty pathetic. I can understand why so many women are turning to relationships with other women and why they're also just disgusted with men in general, constantly talking trash about men, blaming us for all the problems in the world, which is not entirely true. We all have a degree of culpability, but I will admit that men have really been dropping the ball for a long fucking time. And we are the ones who are mostly in power. So it is really up to us to make the changes, right? So just not going to derail the conversation at all. I want to keep it focused as much as possible. I don't have any notes. I don't know what the fuck I'm going to say other than it's going to be from the heart. It's going to be my own truth as best as I can express it in this moment. And so some of the problems with today's men is they are total fucking pussies, unable to speak the truth. I mean, that's first and fucking foremost. You can't speak the truth. You cannot share what's real for you. You cannot stand, you certainly can't fucking stand up for what you believe in. Your beliefs are shit anyway. They're subject to whatever the popular culture is telling you to believe in. And you're totally fucking afraid of what people are going to think about you, what they're going to say about you, how you're going to appear. So what do? You shrink yourself into a fucking shell and you say nothing. And then, you know, you can't live that way without suffering inside, without sedating yourself, without looking at fucking porn, without jerking your fucking dick off like a pathetic piece of shit. And whether you're in a relationship or not, that's what most of you men are doing. So I know I'm speaking to the majority here. Most of you men are fucking pathetic in the way that you are behaving. Inside of you, there's something much, much greater. Inside of each of us is the divine spirit wanting to be expressed in fullness. But when you can't deal with the misery and suffering and the shrinking of yourself and the inability to speak the fucking truth and say what's on your heart and be honest with yourself first and foremost, then you only have one alternative, and that is to sedate yourself, right? Because otherwise you can't handle it. You cannot take that level of self-honesty. It's too painful. It's too painful. And you don't know what to do with it. You don't have an answer. You don't know what to do with this energy that's inside of you. You cannot handle your neurotic thoughts. You can't handle the fact that your body looks like shit. You have no diet habits that are supporting you. You don't exercise. You know, you're probably, you know, you're cheating on your girlfriend, or you're emotionally cheating, or, you know, or you don't have a relationship because you're too afraid to approach women and speak to them, or you're wasting all your fucking time on dating apps. sucked into that addiction, and we're suffering from so many addictions. Those are just a few of them. The drug addictions, right? Constantly drinking yourself into a fucking oblivion, constantly smoking weed until you have no energy, right? Or you lose touch with your innate drive that's going to want to force you to come out of that shell and actually do something with your life. So the guys that I'm with today in this WarriorCon 4 gathering are an elite, highly elite group of men that I have the utmost respect for, because while none of us are perfect, far from it, we're all struggling. We're all challenged by things, each of us different things. Some of us are challenged by our business, right? We're living far below what's possible for us. Maybe we're not bold enough to step out and to face our fears of what could happen if I actually just give up this safety net that is so easy to just show up for every day. And I don't really have to even do much anymore, but it's not fulfilling me on any level, right? So I'm just stuck. I'm just stuck. So that's one problem that some of us have. Some of us we are entrepreneurs. We're wanting to be more and more impactful in the world, but there's something holding us back from really fully expressing our message, from fully asking for what we deserve, for really like developing ourselves into business masters so that we can grow our business and not just scrape by. Some of us are having that problem. That's a problem that I've been challenged by in the recent past, right? Something I feel like I'm just now coming out of. Some of us are, again, as I mentioned, challenged by physical issues. Our eating habits suck. You know, we become lazy. We just eat garbage, you know, where we have all these habits that don't support us by putting good fuel into our bodies. Some of us are taking fucking pharmaceuticals like out the ass to deal with anxiety instead of actually finding a way to deal with it, really deal with it, right? To develop the personal power, to develop a healing capacity that will enable us to not need that bullshit. Same thing with smoking weed all the time. It's the same fucking thing. You can lie to yourself and tell yourself, this is my medicine, you know? But honestly, if you're doing it all day, fucking every day, like I was not too long ago, right? You're fucking delusional. That's it. I said it. So that's another problem that some of us have, okay? It's sedation. It's sedating yourself so that you don't actually have to deal with the pain that you're in, with the pain that comes from not living up to anywhere near your potential. So that's another issue. Some of the other issues is our family lives suck, right? We are not having the connection with our children or our loved ones that we want to have. We're not able to be there for them. We're not able to connect with them the way that we want to. Or maybe we don't even care. You know, maybe we're just like, whatever, that's not even on my list of important things, right? So we're not even trying. Some of us are fucking lonely as shit and don't know what to do about it. So that's why we're turning to porn and sedation and things, because we're so isolated and secluded. We don't have the confidence to get out there and make connections. And so we're lonely and depressed. And then we get creepy. When you do that for too long, guys, you fucking become creeps. This is why men get such a bad rep, right? Because you're fucking creepy, because you're fucking looking at porn all day instead of fucking actually making connections with people. Just a few of the areas that we suffer from. And then lastly, and probably most important of all, is we've lost our connection with God. We don't have a connection with God. Maybe we have no interest in that, but we don't believe in God. Maybe we don't believe in source, whatever you want to call it. If you have the balls to call it God, just fucking call it what it is. If you don't have the balls to call it God, call it spirit, call it source, call it the universe, so that other people who might be offended by that word don't get offended. Well, fuck you. I don't give a shit. Tough fucking shit. I said it. You got a problem with it? Turn the fucking channel. Go fucking listen to the atheist point of view. It's like, that's fucking horrendous. See, I don't have to worry about that problem. I don't need to believe in God. I've had far too many fucking incredible, ridiculous experiences to know for certain that there is absolutely a God. It's without fucking question. It's not a belief for me. I'm fortunate enough to have had those experiences, so I don't have to worry about belief. But I know a lot of you guys haven't had that. The reason why I had those experiences, though, is because I sought that connection. Like, more than anything in my life, I sought that connection. I fell on my knees and I begged, fucking please, just show me the truth. Whatever the fuck is out there, I don't know what it is. I have no idea what it is. I don't believe anything. The religions are all arguing. I can't fucking trust any of them. I've searched and searched and searched. I've read the books. I've talked to the spiritual leaders. They're all in disagreement. How the fuck am I supposed to understand what's real for me? I need to know this for myself. I need to know it from within. And so crying out to that whatever and asking, begging with every fucking ounce of my being, please show me the truth. That's what did it for me. So I'm lucky in that respect. I don't have that problem anymore. But I'm not doing as great as I could be in those other areas, right? Like, don't have a relationship, don't have the greatest connection with my kids that I'd like to have. Business could be doing better. It's definitely getting there. I'm definitely even, I'm making good connections with my family in a lot of ways, but there's still some strain there in certain areas. So these are things that I'm challenged by. My body health is great. I've been working at that for quite a while. I actually get up every morning early as shit, and I meet with a group of men and sometimes women that join us. And we do this thing together because when we do it together, we push ourselves harder. We hold each other accountable. What's up, Ed? Good to see you, brother. And you're just saying, I'm going to read this. I'm going to post this later to YouTube. You don't need drugs or alcohol. Music and the creation of music is where I'm at. So do you, brother. Well, thank you. I am going to do me, but doing me is doing God's work as much as possible. As much as I'm able to hear that voice, I follow it. And I live by a set of principles to the best of my ability. I constantly fall short. I'm not perfect, but I'm striving. I really am striving. And so that's what I wanted to share. Guys, you're capable of doing more. I know life is fucking difficult sometimes. Sometimes we're in the pit of hell. Maybe this message is just like, you don't even want to fucking hear this. You just want to sedate, right? But that doesn't lead you anywhere. That's not going to ever lift you up. So if this message perturbs you, that's probably for a good reason. And if you need help and if you're sincere, fucking reach out. Reach out to somebody, reach out to me. Like, I am willing to help anyone who's sincere. If you're sincere, I'm here for you. If you're here to whine and complain and victimize yourself, fuck off. Like, there's plenty of people who will listen to that bullshit, but it ain't going to help you. It's not going to help you. All you're doing is you're going to commiserate with a bunch of other miserable fucks. And again, you give men a bad fucking rep. You're pathetic when you do that. And like, yeah, no wonder, like, no good woman wants to have you, and no fucking buddy is ever going to want that, right? Nobody wants that. But we are all capable of doing better. We can all do more. We can all try harder. We can all dig deeper. And it takes effort. It takes consistency. It takes rigorous self-honesty. It takes support. You're going to need help from other people. You're going to need a relationship that supports you. And I guess, last but not least, something I wanted to say to the women out there who have lost their faith in men. Like, don't count us out yet. I know that you can do fine and survive on your own. You don't need us, right? Trust me, I've been on my own for the last 3 years, pretty much, with a few short relationships that didn't really go to the level of depth that I would have liked. Not with those people, perhaps, but with a relationship in general. But I know that I'm good on my own. However, there is also something that a relationship has to offer that's beautiful, that's wonderful, that I'm not going to get on my own. So I'm definitely open to that. And I'm going to require certain qualities in my partner for sure. I have standards, and I'm going to hold the people in my life to a high standard. So if you're in my circle, you're hearing this message, it's because I love you and I want to uplift you. I want to uplift us all together. I want to hold you accountable. You can hold me accountable by all means. I see you, John. I know what you're doing out there too, brother. You are fucking crushing it, man. Both of you guys are living your truths. That's the most important thing. You have to live your truth. And if your truth is worth living, you are not afraid to shout it from the mountaintops. You're not afraid to be vulnerable. You're not afraid to give someone a message that they don't want to hear. It's not easy. I don't like conflict. I don't like disagreement. That's not me, right? This is not my natural state anymore, but it's becoming natural. It's becoming more natural to me because I have to balance that within myself. I can't just be agreeable. I got to be willing to call people out, even people who I love, people that I don't really want to say this to you, man, but you know what? You need to fucking hear this shit. You're wasting your fucking life. You're wasting this precious gift. And you're a drag on society, and you are making men look bad. So reach down there, find your fucking balls, reach in here, find your fucking heart. And let's connect all three, the mind, the heart, and your fucking balls. And let's work together to make this world a better place and to demonstrate what we are capable of as men, as the leaders we were born to be. We do that consistently for long enough. The women that have given up on us, they will start to see, they will start to recognize, okay, men aren't all pieces of shit. No, actually, I respect them. I respect those men. Maybe not all those other ones, but I respect those men. That's the type of man that I want. That's the type of man that I want to be with. And I'm not going to settle for anything less. And you shouldn't, women. You should not settle for anything less. Fuck that. We should all hold ourselves to a high standard, and we should hold everyone in our lives to that same standard. All right. Well, I got to get back to my training. I got a lot more hours to go, but I just thought I would jump on here and send this message out. Hope I didn't offend anyone. Actually, I'm just kidding. I don't really care. I'm sure I offended plenty of people. Whatever. Hope I inspired somebody too, though. In the meantime, I'm going to get back to it, and I will see you guys soon on another fucking video. I love you all. Yeah, brother. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Thanks for your comments. Yeah, a man with a vision will be 100%. A man's vision will be 100% absolute. Yes, absolute, resolute, indefatigable, determined, unshakable, confident, resolute, outspoken, brash, strong, honest, respectable, dynamic, unpredictable, and loving. With that, I'll leave you. Much love, and I'll see you guys on another one. Peace.